Hi, Christopher, Sabrina. My name is Les Best. I live in Waco, but I can certainly work local to Austin. I'm 5 feet 9 inches tall, and thank you so much for this opportunity to audition for the role of Walden. Good?
Delicious.
Good. I feel I've finally gotten the leaves to water ratio right. The instructions on the box are never really accurate. You know, as I've gotten older, I have become more appreciative of the company of others. I'm just an old man and his cat. And well, as you've seen, Sylvia would prefer to be elsewhere more times than not.
Believe me, you're not the only one.
No?
No, for work actually, people pay me for my company. Not in a bad way, just to hang out or get coffee or play video games. People need a friend, I guess.
So in this situation, I'm not much unlike a client. Tea and Sylvia's reward in exchange for your time?
Well,
No, I'm okay with that. If that's what it takes to have a lovely conversation partner, I'm willing to pay the going rate. So, what's a career in an industry like that like? A lot of interesting characters, I'd imagine.
oh, you have no idea. Though I wouldn't necessarily call it a career.
No?
Not in the sense that I'm making enough to build a life out of it. I mean, that's what a career is, right? A means to an end. The end being a structured and stable life. A house, a dog, the picket fence, all that.
Suppose the end goal of building a life will depend on the individual involved. Besides, what fun is there in narrowing your scope to only one future when at your age, what life is going to unfold will have endless possibilities. And even if you were to choose just one, God has this way of making sure that whatever it is you've planned for is not where you end up at all.
I'm not saying I even want those things necessarily. I didn't have them growing up. My mom made sure of that. What choice do we have, though, like you said?
When I was your age, I worked for this older fellow, about my age, come to think of it. He had this big, beautiful house, and it was my job to manage it, to make sure that it stayed that way. So I was in charge of the repairman and the maids and the landscapers and all of that. Well, one day, he got so mad at me because I had the maids dust this wine display that he had. These were old, decades old, very expensive, vintage, all of that. Anyway, he was furious with me because he said the dust made the wine taste better. And he insisted that how could people know the age, he would say. Well, I worked for him for 5 years. He had people over to his house all the time, and he never once served that wine. He was waiting for the perfect moment. Now, I don't know this for sure, but I'd be willing to bet that he died without ever having popped the cork on a single bottle of that wine. Back then, I was a boy, really. When I thought of the future, that was what work was. These endless possibilities. Well, now I'm old. And the future isn't that long of a time span. And those endless possibilities, they're not so endless anymore. I would urge you to not put off being happy.